Greetings, nerdlings, and welcome to AmalgamNation's first game review slash game informational vid of 2016. Now, there's a couple of things you guys are probably wondering. One, why have I been doing so many unboxings? I think I've answered this before, but just to make sure that I get this out there and it's understood, I did so many unboxings for first thing into 2016 because Christmas presents, I got some pretty cool collector's editions and that stuff. I got a Nerd Block subscription and that arrived, and I had a couple of things that I hadn't unboxed yet for you guys, so I unboxed those as well. And it's just led up to being a little over a month of pure unboxings on this channel. Yes, there will be more unboxings to come, and I can promise you that. I don't know what games I'll be unboxing, but there will be games in the future. And uh, also, the Nerdblock subscription I will be keeping, so that will be coming every month. So you're guaranteed at least 2 unboxings every month, because I'm going to subscribe to a second Nerd Block subscription because I liked the grab block I got and I thought it was pretty awesome. So I'm going to subscribe to the Arcade Nerd Block just to unbox it for you guys and get some cool stuff for myself, of course. Now, the second thing you're probably wondering is, why the fuck am I wearing these sunglasses? These stupid looking sunglasses that I actually think are awesome looking, but you probably think are stupid looking. The reason I'm wearing these is because my eyes are being very sensitive to the lights at the moment. I tend to get any glare or anything like that, and I can't see. So if it's summertime, I'm walking down the street, the sun's beaming, the glare off the concrete makes me unable to see more than 2 feet in front of myself. So to stop my eyes from hurting, I'm wearing the sunglasses because I have a light on, so you guys can actually see this ugly mug right here on camera, because that was one of the things you asked for as well, was to see me on camera more. So yeah, I'm gonna overload you guys with this, and then every so often I'll put on one of my masks just to piss you off. Now, on with the informational vid. I'm gonna stop calling them reviews. I've been trying to stop calling them reviews for a while. It's just such a habit to do. So yeah, welcome to AmalgamNation Goes Psycho for Psychonauts. And oh my fucking god, did I go psycho for Psychonauts. I installed it. I thought I was just going to check it out because I'd gotten it as part of a humble bundle. I was like, don't know anything about this game. Didn't research it before I installed it or anything like that. I just entered in the Steam code and off I went. So, Psychonauts. What's it about? Psychonauts, you're a child. I think you're about 10 years old or 11 years old. Some around that age. You're very young in any way. You run away from your home in the circus, where your father was an acrobat. Where do you run away to? You run away to a psychic training camp where they teach you to use cool psychic powers, such as marksmanship, levitation, pyrokinesis, invisibility, just to name a few. Now, what is marksmanship? Marksmanship is basically where you project a psychic wave or psychic force that causes damage to a small area, and it can it can destroy objects, it can hurt enemies, and it's quite a cool power at first, and it does come in handy throughout most of the game until you get to a point where you need to use other powers a lot more, such as invisibility. That really does come in handy because you go invisible and you can sneak past enemies. Some enemies it doesn't work on for some reason, I can't explain it. But it's quite fun to actually go invisible. It actually does work on bosses, so that was quite handy. Didn't help much, but it was fun. Meant I could run off and grab some health regen stuff if there was any nearby. So yeah, there was that. Pyrokinesis, of course, is, as many of you might know, the ability to psychically set things on fire. And how do you get these psychic abilities and all that? You earn merit badges. You're at camp after all, a camp for children. So, what is going on in the game, really? Well, after you show up at the camp, crazy stuff starts to unfold. Children start going missing, and then they show back up. They show up later, and their brains are missing. So you go on a quest to find out what's happening and to save your friend's brains. All while your character, all the while you as your character named Rasputin, not Rasputin, Rasputin, and everybody just calls you Raz or AZ. Your goal is to become a psychonaut, an elite psychic agent who goes off on missions and nobody can really tell you what to do. Why do you want to be a psychonaut? So that you can escape from your family and the circus and never have to go back if you don't want to. So, holy cow, this mic's actually lighting up. But yeah, so you go off and you try to find out what's been happening, who's taking your friend's brains. You learn to use new abilities and you use them to uncover the events of the game. And basically, you're the good guy. You're a 10-year-old psychic and you're the good guy. There is only one adult who does not lose their brain and is a good guy. You will find out who that is, but the reason he doesn't lose his brain is because he's actually quite insane. He has got a fractured personality. His mind was fractured psychically into several different personalities. So as you come across him throughout the game, he won't know that you've spoken to him before, and he won't realize who he is. He has no idea who he is. For example, if you find him down by the boathouse and he's fixing boats, which you actually do find him down by a boathouse fixing boats, but that's got nothing major to do with the story, so I can feel free in telling you that. So find him down there, and you will have spoken to him also when you met him as the gardener up by the accommodation huts. So you speak to him up at the accommodation, and he basically acts like a gardener because he thinks he's a gardener. You hear him over the loudspeakers of the grounds telling you that he's got certain items for sale to encourage you to come and find the shop and buy these items with in-game currency, which is actually Native American arrowheads made out of a metal that I can't remember what they called it, but it basically helps with psychic powers apparently if it's in large enough quantities. The arrowheads are so small that it's useless to you as anything more than a currency. So you use it to buy new gadgets, such as a cobweb cleaner, which you use to clean psychic cobwebs from within people's minds. And that's where the game mostly takes place. A lot of the game takes place while you're exploring other people's minds, so you will actually be you will enter into somebody's mind and you will see it in the way that they imagine the inside of their minds. The way they see things, you will see things. So yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff there. Like there's this one guy who is he has some mental issues, we'll say. And inside his head he's dealing with the fact that his high school girlfriend broke up with him and left him for a male cheerleader while he was a wrestler himself. So yeah, the jock got dumped for a cheerleader, a male cheerleader. But in his head, it's not his girlfriend, he doesn't remember who she is. And it's not a male cheerleader, that guy is a matador, and the guy transforms into a bull that goes on a rampage throughout his mind, which doesn't fully make sense considering in some scenes you can see the bull and this guy at the same time, but it makes for an interesting level It's all brightly neon colored, and your character changes to look like he fits into that world for some reason. Whereas in the others, he doesn't really change to look like he fits into them. There's one guy who he's the supposedly the descendant of Napoleon Bonaparte, and he's gone insane. And inside his head, he's having a battle over who gets control of his body between himself and Napoleon Bonaparte. They're playing a game, and the winner of the game gets to keep the body, and you have to help one of them take control of it. I don't want to go into too many specifics about how to do what or anything like that, but yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. And if you like weird and interesting games that are platformer type games, and I don't play platformers all that much, I was cursing and swearing during some of the platforming sections where I couldn't just run straight through it and things like that, where I had to use multiple abilities. It took me a while to get past them. There are some very, very difficult areas in this game where you have to use different tactics, and the game doesn't tell you any information about how to get past certain areas once you get past the basic training stuff. Like when you're learning when you learn pyrokinesis, they'll show you how to use it. When you learn telekinesis, they'll show you how to use it. When you learn marksmanship, they'll show you how to use it. Things like that they teach you. Now, when it comes to other levels later on, after you already know how to use your abilities, they don't give you any clue whatsoever. Now, you may think, how is this interesting? Because surely a psychic with all these cool abilities it would be indestructible, and you might be right in a way. Normally, they would be pretty difficult to beat because the levitation in the game is really fucking cool. They did it in a completely different way. Instead of you just floating in the air and gliding forward, you project a psychic ball of energy beneath you, and you float just above that, and that acts as a barrier between you and the ground, so that keeps you from touching the ground or anything beneath you. And the game, they explain that it protects you from poison areas, it will protect you from fire areas. I can't think of all the different areas, but there's like 4 different types of zone where this can protect you from, and one of them is water. But your character actually has a weakness to water. Your family were cursed to die in water. So whenever your character goes near water, you'll see a hand made out of water come up and try to grab you. And if it does grab you, you'll just respawn a little bit further away with less health until you eventually die and you have to load the game again. I think, because I didn't actually die that badly, which was quite a surprise. But yeah, I would say if you like platformer games, go check this out. I hope I've given you enough information without spoiling too much. I know there's been some spoilers there about things, but there's not much there. I've told you about one guy. I've told you a secret about one guy. I'm not going to point out which one. And I've told you about a lot of the powers. Although there is one interesting thing that I will tell you. There's a move called clairvoyance. If you play this game, when you get to the final boss, cast clairvoyance on him at least once. It's fun to watch how he sees you. As always, remember, play the game and game to play. Actually, that was a bit of an abrupt ending. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vid. And as always, remember, play the game and game to play.